You know, it's crazy to me how well Combat Evolved still holds up. While other games from this era haven't aged well due to clunky controls or less than stellar graphics, the first Halo game is beautiful to look at and showcases a mature and innovative control scheme. The world is colourful and the story is simple and tightly put together. There's a lot to say about this game, but right now I just want to talk about one level in particular. A level that irreversibly perked my interest in this series. 343 Guilty Spark. I think it's worth discussing how cleverly the first Halo sets up this mid-game twist, but I need you to try and clear your mind of what you know about the Flood for this. Imagine what it was like on the first playthrough. You've reached this point in the game and don't know what's coming next. So the setup is fairly simple. After crashing on the ring, you've been travelling around, saving Marines, killing aliens. At the end of the 5th level, Cortana starts freaking out when she realises how dangerous the ring is. Instead of telling you up front about the danger, she just tells you to go and find the captain, who's on another part of the ring looking for a weapons cache. And so Master Chief immediately runs off without asking any follow-up question, while Cortana stays behind to just chill in that control desk, I guess? Say what you will about the poor writing here. It was a different time for narrative in games. The level is set in a dark and grimy looking swamp. It definitely contrasts well with the colourful outdoors environments you've grown accustomed to. The opening cutscene shows Covenant fleeing, and a foreboding musical score builds a distinct atmosphere right off the bat. While so far the tone of the game has been essentially one of fun, here you can feel the level isn't going to be quite the same light-hearted kill spree. Whereas all the missions up to this point have had Marines alongside you, here you're dropped off by yourself, not even Cortana in your head for company. There's a radio near a crashed Pelican fuzzing out and repeating a distorted message. Something about Captain Keyes entering a large structure. There's a broken down Covenant dropship here too. Clearly your foes aren't in control. There seems to be some force beyond both of you. You encounter a few grunts and jackals on your way. Nothing you haven't come across before. But this time they seem like they're not there to attack you. They're not coming on in full strength, and there's a feeling that you're the least of their concerns. They're not backed up by elites like normal, and they flee easily. Your otherwise trusty motion tracker is showing yellow around you, but there are none of the familiar signs that allies are present. This is great because it plays with the player's expectations of known game mechanics up to this point, seeding a feeling of mistrust. The simple addition of your confused motion tracker makes you feel rather anxious, and keeps you moving forward to investigate. High above you there are unfamiliar figures moving. There's an entrance in the rocks, you see assault rifle rounds firing out of it and the Covenant running away. But by the time you get there, the source of the rifle rounds is nowhere to be found. The nearby lift has just gone down. Maybe the Marines were on it? So you take the plunge. Grunts and jackals face away, pointing their weapons at the doors. Both Covenant and Marines lay dead around them, and blood splatters are everywhere. One corridor is absolutely covered in blood, with a room where something green is dripping from the ceiling. It appears some Covenant tried to blockade themselves in, and it didn't end well. Moving further through, you find a Marine sitting on the ground. He fires at you, yelling,
"Stay back! Stay back! You're not turning me into one of those things!"
He's lost his mind, and it's up to you to either put him down mercifully or leave him be. The feeling of isolation at this point is starting to set in. It seems there is something down here sending men insane. You're deep inside a completely foreign facility on the verge of discovering something horrific. After coming across pools of blood on a helmet past a locked door, you look to see what's been recorded on it. It shows the captain and a squad of Marines moving through the facility to the point you're standing at, only to be attacked by strange tentacled creatures. The Halo games have always been known to be heavily influenced by the Alien franchise. From weapons, vehicles and enemies to environment designs, lines of dialogue and whole characters. The game really wears its Aliens inspiration on its sleeve in this level though. Space Marines equipped with rifles with a digital ammo counter, investigating an alien place, coming down in a dropship and being attacked by murderous creatures. The music kicks in and you only have a few moments to prepare for the onslaught. Doors around you burst and hundreds of creatures come through. The door you entered explodes and larger, more imposing zombie-like monsters assault you. The terror found at this point on your first playthrough is palpable. The reason this level works is because it plays with the instinctual fear of the unknown. Evolution selects for the jumpy animals that never take an unknown noise or gut feeling for granted. What sets people apart is we have the intelligence to figure out exactly what the danger is and formulate an intelligent response to it. We know the Covenant at this point and feel like we're getting the hang of dispatching them. But here comes this entirely new threat. The level thus far has been building this up with masterful pacing, dropping clues here and there and building up an atmosphere of unfamiliarity. Your sense of curiousness is what pushes you forward. You need to discover more. One of the things I like about the first Halo is that because you're on a crashed ship, your allies are limited. The vulnerability of humanity is shown right from the first mission. Your unarmed run to the bridge displays the outnumbered Marines and crewmen panicking. The second has loads of crashed escape pods where few survive the landing and even then are hunted down by the Covenant. The third mission has you infiltrating a Covenant ship in a manner similar to how you were boarded at the start, but with far less manpower. Most of your brethren are dead by the end of the mission. So by this point in the game you feel the numbers of Marines are dwindling. So when you do come across a few stragglers when escaping the facility, who have super low health and are killed instantly, it hits you right in the feels and furthers your feeling of loneliness. Up until this point you've been satisfied with this game being a shoot 'em up, blasting through aliens and saving the day, but here your only objective is escape. You're all alone down here and something completely foreign has you cornered. This twist really subverts your expectations, placing the player in a position of isolation and uncertainty. Contrasting the previous levels where you're dominating all opposition, it can be confusing to navigate back to the surface, with some corridors leading to nothing but more enemies. These areas can be outright confusing as they look very similar. You could look at the design as being intentional. It's an alien space that you're desperate to escape from, kind of like racing to the centre of a maze with a killer behind you. I like to give Bungie the benefit of the doubt here, but it's hard to deny that, like the rest of the game, it suffers from samey environments with a lot of backtracking. The atmosphere created is worthy of commendation, however, and is something I think is often overlooked in these games. You eventually find yourself in an elevator, initially feeling relief only to be taken down even further into the facility, again cruelly playing with your expectations. Grunt blood lines the walls and infection forms rain down from the ceiling. When you reach the bottom and encounter even more of the bastards, the feeling of hopelessness escalates. You continue to battle through and eventually find yourself back to the correct elevator. You start moving up and your motion tracker flashes yellow. Finally, there are some friendlies. You're out of the structure and you have some help. The Marines talk about how they've been stuck there for hours and it's up to you to get them to an area where you can be picked up. It's a straight run through the swamp to the objective, all the while under constant attack from the Flood. It takes vigilance and skill to protect the Marines on high difficulties, but it's rarely possible to keep them all alive. The infection forms are highly dangerous to them, and often all you can do is just leg it to the objective and leave the Marines to their fate. The cutscene triggers and you come in contact with Guilty Spark himself, the series staple beyond this point. And there you go, the game moves on to the infamous library level, which amplifies the aforementioned problems with samey looking environments. Anyway, I just thought I'd do a quick breakdown on a part of this classic game that I feel is overlooked. It showcases the way Bungie can structure an experience for a player. It uses its enemy placement and general level design to make you feel a certain way. It's a level where all the elements that make Halo work come together in a satisfying way. World building and clear tone through bold storytelling and suitable music. This is almost the last time the game provides you with a totally unique environment too, and joins the other 3 levels that don't have a twin at another point in the game. It also showcases a tonal environment that Halo has been trying to replicate ever since. There are some great Flood moments in 2 and 3, but you can't recreate such a legendary reveal. Once the Flood are a thing, that's it. My question to you is, what do you think of this level? And what's your personal favourite moment in the Halo series? Where every element comes together and the whole experience is just brilliant. What's the worst Halo level? I ain't gonna ask you to like and subscribe, but do leave a comment if you've got some thoughts on this. I'm curious what people have to say. Cheers.